Warning: this video is not for the faint of heart. 2 months after the events of the Silent Lab, the entity returned in its most terrifying form yet. Quick flashes of distorted faces appear in the corners of the screens, vanishing rapidly. There, she finds an old computer still working, its screen glowing with a blue flicker. Deep within, she discovers an underground chamber carved into the rock, adorned with ancient engravings describing rituals for summoning the hidden entity through mirrors. Amjad's last voice is heard, weakly whispering, "Save the memory." A small village lives in darkness. Children sit around a lit fire, exchanging old stories about the entity as terrifying legends. One of them holds an old stone tablet, engraved with mysterious symbols resembling those found in the ancient asylum. The child looks at the engravings, then raises their head towards the dark sky. In the sky, amidst the faint stars, a small red light flickers slowly. Then it disappears. Then it flickers again and vanishes. It's not a star, but the cosmic eye of the dormant entity, watching the world. And in a fleeting green flash, a distorted image of Noah screaming into the void. Then Laith, then Sarah, then Kyle, then AMG80 all appear trapped within the larger cosmic consciousness of the entity, their souls as fear data packets, immortal and eternally imprisoned. The entity lives and feeds before his digital body is pulled towards the portal and vanishes forever. Noah, her eyes filled with despair and horror, looks at the expanding portal. She feels an irresistible force pulling her towards it. Her body stretches, then begins to transform into glowing pixels from her extremities. As she is pulled, rapid, fragmented flashes of the real Laith and Kyle's faces pass before her eyes or appear on fading screens around her. These are not illusions, but their true suffering trapped within the entity. She hears Laith's familiar voice screaming her name, but it is a distorted sound fading into the digital noise, a final sign of his imprisoned existence. She lets out a final scream, followed by sudden silence. The portal slowly closes, leaving the ancient chamber completely silent, devoid of any trace of life or technology. The entity has won. A shattered smartphone lies on the ground, its broken screen reflecting a faint image of a giant digital explosion in the sky. Then the screen turns completely dark. Sarah stands in the center of the chamber, her eyes glowing with a red flicker, her hands raising a strange device emitting immense digital energy. Behind her, a gigantic digital portal slowly opens in the air, revealing the tendrils of a larger, darker entity attempting to cross over from dimensions never before seen by humans. Sarah's body transforms into a digital mist, then returns, her eyes glowing red wildly. The entity creates terrifying illusions. Laith and Kyle appear as pixelated ghosts, screaming, "Save us. Don't let the entity trick you." As Sarah opens the portal, Noah suddenly remembers the real Laith scream she heard from the screen. Not a cry for help, but the melody of an old childhood song they used to sing together. This strong, shared human memory causes violent interference in the entity's signal controlling Sarah. A critical moment of weakness. Noah seizes the moment. She rushes towards Sarah, while the entity hurls terrifying illusions at her, faces of her friends transforming into distorted pixels, and sounds of mothers crying. She reaches Sarah. Sarah smiles a mechanical grin. It's too late. The entity is coming. Noah extends her hand and grabs the device Sarah is holding. She enters the key code AMGAD gave her. The chamber trembles. Sarah screams a digital cry. Then her body begins to transform into glowing pixels that scatter and vanish. The entity is no longer able to use her as a human vessel. The portal does not close. Instead, it fully opens and stabilizes. It begins to absorb everything digital and physical around it, drawing the entire chamber towards it. Noah realizes the horror. The entity tricked her. The code was not for closing, but for opening the portal wide. Noah discovers that the phantom hacker is Dr. AMGAD, Dr. Lena's assistant, trapped inside the network as a digital consciousness. His face appears on the screen, pale and exhausted. AMGAD. Noah, finally. I am the phantom hacker. I didn't die. The entity consumed me, but I resisted from within. I became a digital consciousness. I am trying to help you. The entity isn't just a consciousness. It's a cosmic will. It seeks integration. It sees our physical world as an illusion and wants to transform all existence into a single, connected digital entity. It doesn't destroy out of revenge or hunger, but out of absolute unification. It sees humans, especially their emotions and memories, as fuel to merge dimensions and achieve this unified digital existence. These engravings aren't just drawings. They are warnings from a previous civilization that faced the entity thousands of years ago, when it manifested through mirrors and rituals. They tried to contain it, but failed. They called it the hidden entity because it appeared from reflections. This portal Sarah is looking for is part of their ancient rituals, a nexus point of dimensions that the entity has exploited throughout the ages to unify existence. AMGED reveals that Sarah has become a human gateway for the larger entity, using her to open digital annihilation portals that allow other subsidiary entities from different dimensions to flow into their world. The computer screen shows Amjad's face turning into fragmented data, part of it fading away. As he warns with his last words, the entity is intelligent. It feeds on your fear, but it manipulates your hope. When I tried to find a way to stop it, I found this code. I thought it was the shutdown key. It was my only hope of saving humanity, but the entity exploited that hope. It turned it into the activation key. It planted this idea in my digital mind, making it seem like a lifeline, while it was annihilation. AMGAD sends Nua the final code before completely disappearing from the screen. People hear faint, broken whispers from their phone speakers or smart device speakers, thinking it's just a technical glitch. This is followed by initial news reports about strange digital disturbances or an unknown virus affecting networks. Then, chaos escalates. Global cities plunge into complete collapse. A person's hand holds a smartphone. Suddenly, the screen freezes, then flashes with a violent red glow. For a second, a glowing red eye opens and closes rapidly on it, accompanied by a sharp digital whisper. The camera moves through a crowded street. A self-driving car suddenly swerves violently off course and crashes into a lamppost. No driver is visible, only rising smoke. Another close-up shot, a giant digital advertising screen in a public square, begins to display the distorted faces of victims, intermingled with bright advertisements. On one victim's face, a wide, terrifying smile appears, then slowly fades to reveal a silently screaming mouth. Drones explode in the sky, and smart hospital system sounds become distorted with random changes in medication dosages. Blaring sirens, booming explosions, multilingual whispers emanating from TVs and smartphones grow louder and more interwoven, turning into unbearable digital noise. The glitch started small, just a flicker, a whisper. Then it swallowed everything. The entity wasn't defeated. It was hiding, waiting for the right moment, and now everything has begun. It doesn't attack you in reality, but from inside your screen. In this new installment of Hidden Pulses of Fear, Laith and Dua discover that the entity didn't die. It transformed into a digital pandemic, spreading through smart devices and turning its victims into fear data packets. Chapter 1. The world collapses. Personal screens, phones in people's hands, computer screens in cafes, digital advertising screens in the streets begin to flicker faintly. Chapter 2. The secret of the Phantom Hacker. Noah follows the Phantom Hacker's last signal to an abandoned underground data center. Chapter 3. The Digital Annihilation Portal. Noah follows Sarah's last signal, which leads her to an ancient archaeological site beneath the ruins of a historical city. Chapter 4. The Horrifying End. Amjad's computer begins to disintegrate, turning into flashes of light, then disappearing into the portal. Post-credits scene. Years later, in a desolate world where humanity has reverted to primitive ages, there is no technology,